Welcome my students. Today we will solve together classified past paper questions on chapter number 2, Organization of Organisms. So let's get started. Question number 1. Which structures contain a cell nucleus? Here we have 4 options, A, B, C, D. Here we have 3 choices, red blood cell, root hair cell, xylem vessel. The key is, if there is tick correct, it means the nucleus, no means no nucleus. So here, the red blood cell do contain nucleus. Okay, I'm gonna give you just a 5 seconds to think about it, then we will illustrate the correct answer. Yes, sure. The correct answer is yes, C. Why C is the correct answer? If we are looking here for the choice number A, red blood cell do not contain nucleus, so this is a wrong answer. So we'll exclude A. B, red blood cells have nucleus? No, red blood cells do not have, so we will exclude also the choice B. Eventually here, red blood cells do not contain nucleus, that's correct answer. Root hair cells do not have nucleus? No, this is incorrect because they already have nucleus. So the correct answer is B, because, C, because the red blood cells do not have nucleus, while root hair cells have nucleus. Xylem vessels do not have nucleus because when they are become mature, they will lose their nuclei. So the correct answer here is C. Let's go for the next question. Question number 2. The diagram shows some animal cells as seen under the microscope. A, what will be present at X? A, one cell membrane. B, one cell wall. C, two cell membranes. D, two cell walls. If we think about it, surely one cell membrane, here there is only one cell membrane. Surely no. Why? Because this is a two cell. This is a meat or two adjacent cells. So it is not one cell. One cell wall, this is a animal cell, and in animal cell there are no cell walls, so we will exclude B as well. So if I look in here, in number C, two cell membranes, that's true. Why? Because here we have two animal cells, two adjacent animal cells, and in between both of them there is a two cell membrane, each one of those cells. Eventually two cell walls, surely it is not correct answer. So the correct answer here is C, and we did mention why. Question number 3. The diagram shows a spongy mesophyll cell. Which structures indicate that this is a plant cell? A, P and S. B, Q and R. C, R and P. D, S and Q. My key answer here, if you would like to answer such like questions, try to label. If you label, then the answer will be automatically come up. So let's do this. P here is, this is the cell wall. Q is cell membrane. Q the cell membrane. R is the chloroplast. And eventually S is the cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. So just undo, and here this is cytoplasm. So which structure indicate that this is a plant cell? Cell wall, yes, is characterizing the plant cells. So this is Cell membrane, it's found in both animal and plant cell, so it's not characterizing the plant cell only. Chloroplast, yeah, it is characterizing only the plant cells, while cytoplasm is found in both animal and plant cell, so it is not cytoplasm. So the correct answer here is very easy, which is P and R. So we have just to look for them, which is C, R and P. Question number 4. The diagram shows blood passing through an artery into a capillary. Part of the capillary wall has been cut away to show the blood. This is the cut in order to show the flow of the blood. And this is the direction of the flow of the blood. And the question is, what is the level of organization of the structures labeled P and Q? This is the structure B and this is the structure Q. This is only Q and all of this region is P. So let's look for the question. Yes, this is a problem here in this question. So we will just skip it and we will continue and I'll modify it again. Question number 5. The diagram shows a leaf cell before and after staining with iodine solution. Here the cell before staining and here the cell after staining. Which substance caused the iodine solution to change color? A. Chlorophyll. B. Protein. C. Reducing sugar. D. Starch. Of course, we know from grade 8 in chapter number 1 in Checkpoint Science 3, the photosynthesis. I think the third page number 13, if I'm not wrong, we discussed together the experiment in order to test for the presence of starch. And there we know that when we add iodine, the color, if there is starch present, after addition of iodine, the color will change into dark blue or blue black. And this is indicating that the starch is present. So the correct answer here is starch. Question number 7. Question number 6, I'm sorry. The diagram shows a cell seen under the light microscope. Which labels are correct? If we label correctly, this is my key in order to answer such like questions, then you will probably find the answer. P is cell wall or cell membrane. It is not the outside, it is the inside, so it is the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane. Yes. Regarding Q, it is the, yes, sap vacuole. This is the sap vacuole. So, very easy now to answer the question. A, cell membrane and cytoplasm. No. B, cell membrane and vacuole. Yes, this is the correct answer. And we find it out. Question number 7. Which tissues and which is an organ? Which is a tissue and which is an organ? Regarding the tissue, tissue is A group of liver cells. Organ, xylem. Let's look about it. Tissue is a group of liver cells. Okay, that's correct. But xylem is not an organ, so we will exclude it. B, a group of palisade cells. Yes, this is a tissue. They are making the palisade mesophyll. The stomach is an organ, so this is correct. So this is the correct answer. If we continue, in order to know why we will exclude C and D just for confirmation that our answer is correct. The brain is a tissue. No, of course, brain is an organ. And here the root is an organ. Root is an organ, yes. But we will exclude it because the brain is not a tissue. Tissue is the reproductive system. It is very obvious. This is system and this is tissue, so they are not correct. It's very easy to discover this. Liver is an organ, yes, but because this is incorrect part, so we'll exclude it and it will be considered wrong. So we are now indicating and confirming that our choice is correct. Question number 8. Which series of terms are listed in order of increasing level of organization? Number A, cell, and then organ, then tissue. Surely it is not, because after cells we have organs. Also, if you are just put here in mind what is the correct order of organization, we will find it directly. So let's do it together. We know that we have cell, and even before cell we have organelle. I can even erase it just to make much more in order to maximize our benefit. So firstly we have the organelles. They are together making cells. Then the cells making tissues. Tissues makes organs. Organs together make an organ system. And organ system together making a organism. So cell then organ, so it is not correct, we'll exclude it. Cell tissue, okay. Tissue organ, okay. Organ system, this is a correct order. Just for double check, in order to confirm that our answer is correct and there is no misconfusion, we will go through C and D. Tissue in the beginning, surely not, so we'll exclude it. D, tissue in the beginning, it is not, so we will even exclude it. So we now double check that our answer is correct. So let's go for the next questions. Question number 9 says, the diagram shows 6 cells that are labeled P, Q, R, S, T, U. Which are plant cell and which are animal cells? Again, my first technique in order to answer those questions, even if you do not know the proper answer, you have to label them. If you do so, it will be automatically solved. Question number B, the diagram P is for, this is a sperm. Here it is, there is a cell wall, there is a nucleus, there is a chloroplast, there is a vacuole. So it is a plant cell, and mostly it is a spongy mesophil. Mostly it is a spongy mesophil. It is a plant cell, and mostly it is a spongy mesophil. Okay, so R is a ciliated epithelial cell. This is a ciliated cell, so it is a ciliated cell. Ciliated cell, surely ciliated epithelial cell. The sperm is animal or plant? Surely the sperm is animal cell. Spongy is, yes, sure, it is in plants. The ciliated epithelial cells, they are also in animals. This is a cell that lacks of, if we don't know what it's whether animal or plant. Is there cell wall? No, there is no. Is there a chloroplast? No, there is no. Is there a vacuole? No, there is no. So it is an animal cell. It is animal cell. Here it is a typical plant cell. It is a plant cell. Why? Because there is a cell wall, there is a vacuole. There is cell membrane, there is a nucleus, so it is an animal cell. There is animal cell. Now the question is automatically solved. If you are going through the answers, so which are plant cells and which are animal cells? So if I'm just changing the color in order just to group them, so we are using this, for example, for the animal cells. The sperm is animal, yes, so it is animal. And spongy, no, it is plant. Ciliated epithelial cells, they are animal cells. Here we define this as animal cells, and here U is animal cell. So those are the animal cells, and the remaining are plant cells. Now it is easier to be distinguished. The remaining are animal cells. Those are animal cells. So I'm just changing the color in order to make it obvious. Green is better. So those are plant cells. Answers here are A. So the plant cells are only Q and T. So we'll exclude this and this. Now it's easy. We can go directly to the answer. QT, while P, R, S, and U are the animal cells. So it is very easily an obvious answer in those questions. So never being mixed up and never being confused. Just label them and the answer will be very easily obtained. Question number 10. Which diagram shows a liver cell? Which diagram shows a liver cell? As we take in the modifications of the cell, now it will be obvious and easy for you in order to find out which is the liver cell. Again, my key way in order to answer those questions is to label. A is, yes, it is a white blood cell. This is white blood cell. B is a red blood cell. RBC is a red blood cell. And C is, if you don't know it, this is our target, by the way, but this is very obvious. This is a muscle cell. And the remaining now is our, okay, yes, this is the liver cell. So we find out the answer very easily. This is the liver cell. Next question, number 11. What is a feature of both plant and animal cells? What is a feature of both plant and animal cell? A cell membrane. B, a cell wall. C, a large vacuole. D, chloroplasts. What is the feature of both plant and animal? Cell membrane, yeah, it is found in both, but let's double check. Cell wall, no. Why? Because only plant cell, only found in plant cell. Large vacuole, only plant cell, so exclude it. Chloroplast, only plant cell, so we will exclude it. So now we find out the answer and we know why we did choose it. Question number 12. The diagram shows structure that form the surface of the trachea or the trachea. Which level of organization is the structure labeled S? Which level of organization, which this only structure or only structure representing? A, cell. B, organ. C, organ system. D, tissue. It is very obvious. It's just only one, okay, cell backed. So it is only cell, not an organ, not a organ system, not a tissue. It's a very easy question and straightforward. Question number 13. What is a correct description of red blood cell? A, here, thin region in the cell center, large nucleus. First of all, RBCs do contain nuclei? Yeah, there is no nuclei there, so I can exclude any correct answer here. If there is any correct text here, we will exclude it. So this will be excluded. This may be okay. This will be excluded. Then this may be okay. So let's see both of them. So A is excluded because there is no nucleus in the red blood cell at all, not even small. And also we'll exclude C because there is no large nucleus in the red blood cell. So we'll look for B and D. Regarding B, it says thin region in the center. Yeah, it's present, which is correct answer. But let's double check by looking for D. Thin region in the cell center, it says no, which is incorrect. Because if we just make a small diagram for the RBCs, it's like this, like a dumbbell shape. This is the center and it is a thin region. So number B is correct. And even if we are back, I'll let you see some of those cells that are considered RBCs. I think we did answer a question like this before. Yes, this is the structure of the RBCs, and RBCs are thinner because they have a biconcave surface in order to obtain as much as they can from oxygen to be transported. Question number 14 says, which statement about xylem is correct? A, it carries sucrose. B, it converts light energy to chemical energy. C, it divides actively to help the plant grow. D, it's no longer living. So let's take all of those choices and choose which is correct. Number A, it carries sucrose. Sucrose, we will take this in chapter number 8 in the transport in plants. Transport in plants. Sucrose is being carried by the phloem, not the xylem. So we'll exclude this. It converts light energy into chemical energy. Surely it's not, because this is typically the function of the chloroplast. C, it divides actively to help the plant grow. Surely it is incorrect because the xylem vessel is a dead lignified tissue. So we will not choose this. But it is no longer living, which is true and correct answer, because xylem cells, when they are become mature, they will lose their cell content and they will become dead. So this is the correct answer. Question number 15. The diagram shows a bacterial cell. How is this cell different from a typical animal cell? This is a bacterial cell. So what is the difference between it and the animal cell? It has a cell wall, has a cell membrane, DNA, and cytoplasm. Let's look for the answers. Choice number A, it has a cell membrane. It's found in both, so it is not a difference. We will exclude this. It has a cytoplasm. Surely no, because it's both in the typical animal cell and in the bacteria. It is not a difference. It has no chloroplast. Even the animal cell do not have chloroplast. It has no nucleus. Yes, that's perfect. And this is the correct answer. And we have here to draw your attention to the bacteria are prokaryotes. Bacteria under the kingdom Prokaryota or prokaryotes. And the prokaryotes do not have, they lack a nucleus. Lack a nucleus. And this is the correct answer here. Let's go for the next question. Question number 16. The diagram shows a plant cell in which label part of the cell is sugar made. A, the vacuole. B, chloroplast. C, nucleus. D, cell wall. Yes, it's very obvious that the sugars are made by photosynthesis, and photosynthesis occur in the chloroplast. So it is the correct answer. Nucleus is just controlling and directing the cell activities, cell wall protection and limiting, vacuole for storing food, and there is also water and dissolved salt in it. So it is not the answer. So the correct answer here is B, the chloroplasts. So let's go for the next question. Question number 17. Which of these tissue is not part of the organ with which it's bad? Actually, also here it's missing part, so we will skip 17 for till I modify them in order to be correctly written. So let's go for question number 18. The diagram shows a specialized cell. For which function is the cell adapted? We took this typically in the modifications of cells in order to adapt doing a specific function. A, absorption of water. B, contraction of muscles. C, movement of dust particles. D, transport of oxygen. If you define the cell, if you label, if you know what this cell is, then you will answer the question. Yeah, I can listen that you are saying it's a root hair cells. This is a root hair cell. This is root hair cell. So root hair cell is being specialized for absorption of water. Why? Because the vacuole has a concentrated, they have a concentrated vacuole, so that inside there is a high water potential. There is high water potential. While outside in the soil, there is, I'm sorry, totally opposite. It has lower water potential inside. There is here lower water potential. Why? Because it's a concentration, a concentrated vacuole. So it should be lower water potential inside. Lower, it's not even, I mix it up. Yes, so here it has a lower water potential inside. Why? Because here there is a high concentration. High concentration. High concentration means less water and more salts. Okay, unlike the soil here, which has a higher water potential, okay, potential. Why? Because here there is more water and less salt. So that there is a concentration gradient, there is a gradient, concentration gradient. By this concentration gradient, the water will move from a region of its higher water potential, which is in the soil, okay, to a region of its lower water potential, which is inside here, the root hair cell, okay, down the concentration gradient by osmosis. The definition of osmosis will be fully covered in chapter number 3. That is talking about movement in and out of the cell. Movement in and out of the cell. So we answer this question and we little bit explain furthermore why we did choose this answer. So we extended our answer in order to understand much more. If we go for the next question, question number 19, the diagram shows some cells. What are those cells? A. Liver cells. B. Palisade cells. C. Red blood cells. D. White blood cells. They have cell membrane, they have cytoplasm, they have nucleus. So they are not plant cell. So we'll exclude, they are animal cells. This is the first way in order to answer those questions. They are animal cells. So they are animal cells. What are liver cells? Maybe they are animal cells. Palisade? No, they are not palisade. Red blood cells? Maybe because they are animal cells. White blood cells? They may be white blood cells. Let's look for this. Liver cells, we will look for why we will choose this and not choosing red blood cell. Red blood cell do not have nucleus and those have nucleus. So we will not choose red blood cell. We'll exclude it. White blood cells have different sort and different shapes of the nucleus. They are looped that are made up of more than one part. It all looks like this. They have looped. Okay, they are characterizing by multinuclei. So we will not even choose this. The illustration of the white blood cell will come in chapter number 9, that we will talk about the transportation in human. So we will exclude the white blood cell and it is a liver cell. The structure, the multinucleated, they are in or characterizing the white blood cells. Those will be totally and fully covered in chapter 9, transportation in animals. So let's continue talking about the next questions. So question number 20. Which cells line the trachea? We know that trachea is being lined by cells that are wafting out the mucus. So if you label, you will answer. If you label, the question is automatically answer. So let's do this. So here the first question says, number A, what is this? This is a, red blood cell. This is RBC, red blood cells. So this is not the lining of the trachea. B, it's root hair cell. This is root hair cells of the epidermis of the root. So we will not choose it, exclude it. It is a plant cell. C is ciliated epithelial cells. It is ciliated epithelial cells. Okay, so it is the lining, but let's continue in order to confirm our answer. D will be excluded. Why? Because there's a muscle fiber, so it is a muscle cell. So the correct answer is C, and we explain why. Question number 21. The root hair and the xylem are part of the same what? They are part of the same what? This is the root hair and this is the xylem. Both of them are in the same cell and organism, or they are part of cell and tissue. They are part of organ and organism. D, tissue and organ. Root hair is a, yes, it's a cell. So automatically we will go for cell. Root hair is a cell. But here he say the root hair and xylem, yes, are part of the same, yes, cells and tissues, or organ and organism. D and tissue and organ. Root hair is a cell which is a part of the epidermis. Okay, epidermis is a layer which is a tissue. Xylem is a tissue as well. So both of them are part of the same, yes, organ and organism. Why? Because both of them are part of an organ, which is the root, and they are even part of the organism, which is the plant. The root is a part of organism, which is the plant. Root is a part of plant. So we picked C. Next question, number 22. Next page. Question number 22 says, the diagram shows a motor or effector neuron, which structure is also found in white blood cells, but not in red blood cells. The neurons or the effectors will be fully covered in chapter number 14, the coordination. But we can solve this question even. Which structure found in white blood cells, but not in red blood cells? Okay, it is very easy. If I look in here, this is the A is, if you label, you will answer the question as we said before. A is cell membrane. Yes, this is the cell membrane. Okay. B is cytoplasm. It's found in both. So we will exclude A because it's found in both. Exclude B, it's found in both. C is here. Yes, it is also a cytoplasm. Okay, this is the Schwann cells. D is nucleus. And nucleus is not found in the RBCs, while they are found in the white BCs or white blood cells. So we will pick D, which is the correct answer. Question number 23 says, which structures are found in the liver cells? Let's go for A and let's go ahead. I don't know whether it is correct or not, as I'm a student, I'm solving now, and I don't know which is the correct answer. So I'll put myself in your place. So if I will answer, I will do like this. A, he is asking for liver cell. Okay. Liver cell do has cell membrane? Yes. They have cell wall? He said yes, which is wrong. So we'll exclude A automatically. B, cell membrane, it said no, which already found in the liver cell, so automatically we'll exclude B. C, there is cell membrane, yes. No cell wall, yes, no cell wall. Chloroplast, no chloroplast, yes, there is no chloroplast. Large vacuole, there is no large vacuole, yes, there is no large vacuole. There is cytoplasm, yes, there is cytoplasm. Nucleus, yes. So C is correct. My recommendation, just read D in order to double check that your answer is correct, and you never make any confusion. So let's continue. D here saying no cell membrane. Surely there is cell membrane, so it is not correct. So automatically it's being excluded, and the only valid correct answer is C. So let's continue. Question number 24 says, what level of organization is a leaf? A, organ. B, organism. C, organ system. D, tissue. Yes, the leaf is an organ. Yes, leaf is an organ. Leaf, stem, root, they are organs that make an organ systems. Okay, so let's go for the next questions. Question number 25 says, the diagram shows an amoeba, a single cell living organism, and we did study that amoeba is in the protosts. The movement of gases at X here indicates the occurrence of which process or processes in the cell? A. Excretion and nutrition. B. Excretion and respiration. C. Nutrition and respiration. D. Respiration only. Let's see here. Here there is oxygen diffuse into the cell. Oxygen diffuse into. And carbon dioxide diffuse out of the cell. So this process is excretion and nutrition? Of course not. There's no excretion. There's no nutrition here. Okay. Excretion and respiration. It is excretion because they are excreting the carbon dioxide as a waste metabolic product. So it is excretion. And respiration as well. Why? Because oxygen now is being diffused into the cell, which consider a way of the respiration but on a single cell level. So B is correct. And my piece of advice is to continue solving just to answer, just to double check that our answer that we picked is correct and to confirm such like thing. C is saying nutrition and respiration. Respiration is okay, but it's not a nutrition, so we'll exclude this. And D, respiration only. No, not only, because there is an excretion too, so we'll exclude D. Next question. The diagram shows a liver cell. Which structure is found in a palisade cell that is not present in this liver cell? So, which is a palisade cell and not. Be careful about those words that are mostly bold, that may be made up of one or two or three words. Okay, or, and, but, not. Those are very important and may confusing and may make you mix up the answer. So he is looking for the structure that are found in the palisade cell but lack in the liver cell. Cell membrane? Surely not, because it's found in both. Chloroplast? Sure, because chloroplast found in the palisade, because palisade is a plant cell and do photosynthesis. And they have chloroplast inside them via or by or through the chloroplast. So cytoplasm, it's found in both, which is not mentioned in the question stem. Even nucleus found in both. Be careful about those issues, because you may say something which is scientifically correct but is not related to the question stem, so your answer will be considered wrong or a no credit mark. You will not take any mark. And here it's mentioned not. So the only thing that is found in the palisade and not present in the liver cell is chloroplast. So we are copying the question stem. Our answer is related to the question stem. Let's go for the next question. Next question is in the next page. So he is here saying in question number 27, which diagram shows a plant cell? It's very easy. Very easy. I know the answer, but my key way in order to answer, as I told you, in order to correctly answer, we have to label. I know the answer, and I know that you know the answer, but it is a practice, so let's label to learn more. Here, A is a, yes, A is animal cell. Okay, why? Because this is a, yeah, this is a neuron. This is a neuron, or a nerve cell. It's a nerve cell. And B is a root hair cell. Root hair cell. C is a sperm cell. Here, D is a white blood cell. White blood cell. So the correct answer surely is B. This is the only representation of a plant cell. Question number 28. Which statement about cells or tissues is correct? A. Cells in the respiratory tract are long and thin. B. Muscle cells are biconcave. C. red blood cells have no nucleus. D, xylem vessels have ciliated cells. Let's go through each one of them. Number one here, or option A, cells in the respiratory tract are long and thin. No, it is not. Here, statement about cell tissue. Yeah, it is not. B, muscle cells are biconcave. No, the red blood cells are biconcave. Red blood cells have no nucleus. That is, yes, correct. The RBCs lack nuclei, so they are anechoic, or they lack of nucleus, or they have no nucleus. D, xylem vessels have ciliated cells. Surely no, xylem do not have any sort of ciliated cells. So let's go for the next question. Why do some root cells have root hairs? A, for the maintenance of the temperature of the cell sap. B, to increase the surface area of the cells. C, to increase the volume of the cell sap. D, to provide a place for cell nuclei. Let's go through the options. A, for maintenance of the temperature of the cell sap. Of course not. It has no relation to this. B, to increase the surface area of a cell. Surely this is the correct answer. Why? Because the root hair cells, this is the epidermis of the roots, and this is the extension from it, which is the root hairs. And if we just make an assumption, drawing a normal cell with no root hair, and let's do another cell with a root hair, like this, for example. So it is very obvious here that the normal cell will have a smaller surface area in comparison to those that have a, I'll change the color in order to make it obvious. Yes, this is the normal cell, just an assumption that it has no cell, it has no root hair. What is the length of the surface? Let's say it is about 1 millimeter, just an empirical thing, just an assumption. This is not real. 1 millimeter. So here, the root hair cells that have a root hair, okay, how long the surface is here? Okay, it's not less than, I can say, 15 millimeter. So the root hair cells increasing the surface area for the cells. Why? This is a good point that will come later in next chapter. For absorption. For absorption. So, to increase the volume of the cell sap, surely no, they are not inside. To provide a place for cell nuclei, no, they are already resident. Next question. Some cells have cell walls. Which statement are correct for cell walls? In animals and in plants. So let's go for each one of them. In animal, the statement correct about cell walls. Yes, let's highlight this. Okay, it's recommended while you are solving those questions not to mix up the points. In animals, they are absent. There are no cell walls. Yeah, that's correct. There are no cell wall. Okay. In plants, present inside the cell membrane. It is present, sure, this is correct, but the second part of the statement is totally incorrect. Not inside. They are not inside. So we will exclude A. B, they are absent in animals. Yes, sure, they are. Present outside the cell membrane. Yeah, this is correct. So the correct answer is B. C and D, same present, which is incorrect. So both of them will be excluded from the first block. So let's continue. Question number 31. A mesophyll cell where chloroplast found. A. In a mesophyll cell, where are chloroplasts found? A. Between the cell wall and the cell membrane. Of course not. B. In the cytoplasm. Yeah, they are in the cytoplasm. Let's continue to double check. In the nucleus? Of course not. In the vacuole? surely they are not in the vacuole. Question number 32 says, the bar chart compares the percentage of oxygen carried by red blood cell entering and leaving a relaxed muscle. On the bar chart, 100% is the amount of oxygen carried by red blood cells as they leave the lung. Okay, here. How much oxygen would red blood cells be likely to carry when leaving the same muscle after contraction? Yeah, this is a very good question. You can answer this very easily. So, what is the correct answer here? What is the correct answer? If the percentage of oxygen entering is 100, so the amount of oxygen here, amount of oxygen leaving, how much will be there? This is related to the respiration and gas exchange that will be covered in chapter 11 and 12, but you can even answer this here. 100% taken, some great majority will be taken by the body, and there is a remain of oxygen will be exhaled or will be leaving the lung. It is 40, or of course not 60, because there's a huge amount, so it means that the cell is not taking oxygen, which is incorrect. 90, surely not. Why? Because the great majority of oxygen will be taken by the cells in the process of gas exchange. 100, as it go in, as it go out? No. As it enter, as it leave? So it's wrong. But the correct answer is A. 40% of oxygen will most likely to be out or to carry out while leaving the same muscle after contraction, which meaning there is a work, there is a activity that consuming, that needing this amount of energy in order to do the process of respiration and releasement of energy needed for the contraction process. Our last question for today is, root hair cells are found on plant roots. Which feature would be present in a root hair cell but not in a sperm cell? Root hair is a plant cell. In order to solve this question, a plant cell. Sperm cell is in animals cell. So A is cell membrane. Of course no, because it's found in both. Cell wall, yes, it is only found in plant but not in the animal cells. Chloroplast, it is found in the, well, which feature present in root hair cell but not? Yes, chloroplast is found in only root hair cells. Okay. Here, cytoplasm, it is found in both. So, which feature would be present in a root hair but not a sperm? Yeah, the root hair, there is cell wall and there is chloroplast. So this is not well phrased question as well. Yes, which feature would be present in a root hair, okay, but not in a sperm? Both cell wall and chloroplast. So the phrasing of this question is incorrect. Why? Because the cell wall are present in the root hair cells that are plant cells. Oh yeah, there is a, yeah, that's good. I mixed it up. There is only correct answer, which is C. Why? Because the chloroplasts are not found in the roots. Yes, the chloroplasts are not found in the roots. Chloroplast not in plant roots. Who can tell me why? Not in plant roots. Because the chloroplast, they are not carrying out photosynthesis. So there is no need for the chloroplast to be there. So the only valid answer is B, which is the cell wall.